Once upon a time in a small village nestled in the snowy mountains, a man named Nicholas had a vision. This vision was of a world where he would be the most powerful, revered, and feared man in history. He decided to construct an empire where he would be worshipped by children and feared by adults. This was the beginning of the Santa Claus Empire. Nicholas began his empire by creating a vast network of elves, all of whom were skilled in their respective fields, such as crafting, engineering, and espionage. He also compiled a list of all the children in the world, categorizing them by their behavior, wealth, and potential to bring him fame and fortune. He was meticulous in his record-keeping, detailing even the smallest of transgressions. As the years went by, Nicholas's empire grew, and he became more and more powerful. He started to travel the world, visiting every country, spreading the word of his empire, and recruiting new followers. He formed alliances with powerful people, ensuring the growth and protection of his empire. However, as his power and influence grew, so did his dark desires. Nicholas became obsessed with the idea of having a harem of women to serve his every whim. He began to use his power and influence to satisfy his lust. He would visit towns and villages, offering gifts and promises of a better future if the women would submit to his advances. Many did, fearing the consequences if they refused. One fateful night, Nicholas visited a small village to deliver gifts to the children. He entered the home of a woman named Sarah, who was busy preparing a meal for her family. Nicholas, using his charm and manipulation, began to speak to Sarah, telling her of the wonderful future her family could have if she would just give in to his desires. Sarah, fearing for her family's safety, reluctantly agreed. As the years passed, word spread of Nicholas's actions, and the women of the world began to fear his yearly visits. They would wait in terror for his arrival, knowing that they would have no choice but to submit to his demands. One day, a group of brave women, led by Sarah, decided that they could no longer live in fear. They hatched a plan to expose Nicholas's dark secret and put an end to his reign of terror. They spent months gathering evidence, speaking to other victims, and building a case against him. Finally, the day arrived when they would present their findings to the world. They held a press conference, detailing Nicholas's abuse of power and the countless women he had molested over the years. The media was quick to pick up the story, and soon it spread like wildfire, reaching every corner of the globe. People were shocked and outraged by the revelations. They couldn't believe that the man they had once revered as a symbol of hope and joy could be capable of such despicable acts. People began to question the true nature of the Santa Claus Empire and the intentions behind its founder. As the outrage grew, the authorities were forced to take action. They launched an investigation into Nicholas's empire, uncovering a vast network of spies and informants, as well as evidence of corruption and bribery. The once untouchable Nicholas found himself facing charges of sexual assault, abuse of power, and conspiracy. The trial was a media spectacle, with people from all over the world tuning in to watch the downfall of a man who had once been revered as a cultural icon. The prosecution's case was strong, and the evidence against Nicholas was overwhelming. In the end, he was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life imprisonment. The Santa Claus Empire crumbled in the wake of Nicholas's downfall. His elves fled, seeking new employment and trying to distance themselves from the tainted legacy of their former leader. The villages and towns that had once welcomed Nicholas with open arms now rejected the very mention of his name. However, the story did not end there. The brave women who had exposed Nicholas's dark desires continued to fight for justice, using their platform to raise awareness of sexual abuse and the misuse of power. They inspired others to come forward with their own stories, breaking the silence surrounding these issues and creating a movement that would change the world. And as for Nicholas, he spent the rest of his days in prison, reflecting on the destruction he had caused and the thousands of lives he had ruined. He was a shadow of the man he once was, a figure of ridicule and disgust to those who once worshipped him. As the years passed, the world slowly began to heal from the wounds left by the Santa Claus Empire. The children of the world found new heroes to look up to, and the adults worked to rebuild the trust that had been shattered by Nicholas's actions. Sarah and the other women who had come forward became symbols of strength and resilience, inspiring others to speak out against sexual abuse and mistreatment. They continued to work tirelessly, creating support networks and resources for others who had suffered at the hands of powerful individuals. In time, the world would never forget the lessons learned from the fall of Santa Claus. The once beloved figure had been exposed as a monster, and the world had united to bring him to justice. It was a testament to the power of truth and a reminder that no matter how powerful or revered an individual might be, they are not above the law. And so, the story of Santa Claus would live on, not as a heartwarming tale of gift-giving and joy, but as a cautionary reminder of the dangers of unchecked power, the importance of speaking truth to those in authority, and the resilience of those who have suffered at the hands of the wicked.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.